Midnight bathroom runs aren't random. They're a quiet pattern with a hidden driver. Each wake-up erodes deep sleep and nudges real-world risks like foggy mornings and clumsy steps. Stay with me for a calm, natural plan to steady your nights and restore clear, confident days. You switch off the light, breathe out, and wait for sleep to sweep in. It almost does, until your body sends a familiar little nudge. Get up. Minutes later, another nudge. And again. If you have started to accept those nighttime bathroom trips as just how it is, I want to gently challenge that belief. There is a surprisingly common, often overlooked reason your bladder seems louder after dark, and it doesn't begin in your bladder at all. It begins earlier in your day, in places as ordinary as your office chair, your dinner plate, and even your favorite drive-thru. Let's rewind to midday. Picture a standard North American afternoon. A refillable cold brew or a big iced tea riding shotgun on the desk. A quick lunch heavy on salt because it's convenient. Pizza slices, wings, a burrito with extra chips, maybe ramen from the corner spot. Hours pass, mostly seated. Socks leave faint grooves around your ankles. By sunset, your legs feel heavier than they did at breakfast. None of this screams nighttime urination, but here's the quiet chain reaction. When you sit or stand for long stretches, fluid can pool in the lower legs. Add a salty meal, which pulls water into the bloodstream, and your body ends the day holding extra fluid in the tissues. When you finally lie down, gravity steps aside, and that fluid returns to circulation. Your kidneys receive the memo. There's more on board. They do their job faithfully, and your bladder rings the bell. That's the overlooked reason many people miss. Not a weak bladder. A timing issue. Your body is trying to even the books at the very time you want rest. The good news is practical, gentle, and natural. My approach focuses on small changes with outsized impact, and I'll guide you through them step by step. First, adopt what I call a day-forward hydration bias. Drink most of your fluids earlier in the day. Think breakfast through late afternoon, and taper in the evening. You don't need to dehydrate yourself. Simply avoid loading a large portion of your daily fluids within 2 hours of bedtime. If you're used to sipping a tall glass of water right before you sleep, shift that glass to late afternoon instead. If you love herbal tea at night, favor a small cup and brew it earlier in the evening so your body has time to process it. And yes, decaf coffee still contains a bit of caffeine, so keep it earlier too. Second, give your legs a chance to hand back their fluid before the lights go out. A simple, safe sequence works well for many people. About 3 to 4 hours before you intend to sleep, lie down and elevate your legs so your ankles rest above your heart. Stay there for 15 to 20 minutes, breathing easily. Follow with gentle calf pumps. Point and flex your feet 20 times per side, 2 or 3 sets. This combination encourages that pooled fluid to return while you're still awake, so your kidneys are less likely to ramp up production overnight. If you wear snug socks, try a lighter pair in the evening and avoid tight elastic bands that leave indents. If you use compression garments during the day, take them off before bedtime unless a clinician told you otherwise. Third, respect the salt clock. It's not only how much sodium you consume, it's when. A late salty dinner, hello nachos, hello ramen, can drive thirst and fluid shifts that echo into the night. Aim for a lighter, less salty evening meal. A bowl with grilled chicken or tofu, roasted vegetables, and rice. A turkey sandwich on whole grain with lettuce and tomato. A chili made at home with beans and lots of veggies. Season generously with herbs, citrus, garlic, and pepper, so flavor stays high while sodium stays reasonable. If you enjoy takeout, portion half for lunch the next day instead of polishing it off late. You might be thinking, this sounds sensible, but will it actually change my nights? Here's the empowering part. Your body tends to respond quickly to changes in timing. Many people notice fewer awakenings within a week when they consistently shift fluids forward, ease up on late-night salt, and decongest their legs before bedtime. Keep a simple log for a few evenings. Note what and when you drink, your evening meal, and how many times you got up. Patterns show themselves fast. I want to be clear and responsible. This guidance is educational and may not fit everyone. If you experience pain, burning, fever, blood in the urine, swelling that doesn't go down, or intense thirst, please seek medical evaluation. Likewise, if you take diuretics or manage conditions like heart, kidney, or liver disease, adjust fluid timing only with your clinician's input. We're working with the body, not against it. Because you're here for practical action, let's turn the ideas into a mini routine you can start today. Tomorrow morning, pour your first large glass of water at breakfast instead of at night. At lunch, enjoy water again. And in the afternoon, have a moderate serving of fluids, around a standard glass, not a jumbo refill. Swap the late salted snack for something steady. Greek yogurt with a few unsalted pumpkin seeds and cinnamon, or an apple with a tablespoon of peanut butter. 3 hours before sleep, take that 15-20 minutes to elevate your legs and follow with those calm ankle pumps. 90 minutes before bed, cap fluids. Use the bathroom once before turning out the light, then let your body rest. One more invitation. Treat this as an experiment, not a test. You're observing, adjusting, and learning how your particular routine shapes your nights. That mindset keeps things sustainable and kind. Before we wrap, a quiet promise. I have a simple, after-sunset bonus that can complement everything we're building. An easy preparation using common ingredients that many North Americans already keep at home. I'll share it at the right time, once the foundations are set, because timing is what makes it effective. For now, focus on the 3 pillars: day-forward hydration, gentle leg decongestion, and an earlier, less salty dinner. They may sound ordinary, but ordinary done consistently is what resets stubborn patterns. To close, a brief reminder for your safety: avoid over-restricting fluids to the point of thirst, dizziness, or dry mouth. Avoid extreme sodium restriction unless advised, and never change prescriptions without guidance. Small, thoughtful steps work best. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it will not only limit your results, but could bring serious side effects. I'll explain carefully so you can apply it safely and confidently. Let's take a breath and build on what you've just practiced. Shifting most fluids earlier, easing up on late-night salt, and helping your legs return extra fluid before bed. Those simple moves already change the stage. Now we'll look at why those nighttime awakenings matter more than most people realize, and how to make your routine sturdier without strain, hype, or complicated rules. Waking up once in a while to use the bathroom happens. But when it becomes a pattern, 2, 3 times most nights, it quietly rearranges the architecture of your sleep. Instead of moving through longer stretches of deep, restorative sleep, you're nudged into lighter phases. The impact shows up the next day in ways that seem unrelated. A hazy focus at work, impatience in conversations, reaching for another coffee or 2 to push through the afternoon, craving something salty or sweet on the drive home. If that sounds familiar, you're not failing. It's your biology trying to compensate. Sleep fragmentation also tends to make pain feel louder and small stressors heavier, which is why a minor commute delay can suddenly feel like an epic frustration. There's another layer worth understanding, and it's still practical. When you lie down, the return of fluid from your legs increases the circulating volume your kidneys filter. At the same time, certain breathing patterns, especially loud, habitual snoring, can nudge your body to produce more urine at night. It isn't about blame, it's about signals. The body interprets disrupted breathing as stress, and the hormones involved can shift how the kidneys balance fluids. If your family has mentioned loud snoring or pauses in your breathing, consider it a health clue rather than a character trait. Gentle steps help. Cultivate nasal breathing by keeping your room comfortably humid. Wind down screens earlier so your nose and throat aren't dried out by mouth breathing, and favor sleeping on your side. None of this replaces medical care. It simply supports your system while you seek evaluation if needed. Let's talk about safety and practicality, because health advice should be calm and clear. Overcorrecting in either direction can backfire. If you drink too little in the name of sleeping through the night, you risk dehydration, headache, dry mouth, fatigue, even dizziness when standing. On the flip side, if you keep sipping large volumes right up to bedtime because you're chasing a hydration goal on an app, you're asking your kidneys to do their daytime job while you're trying to rest. The middle path works best. front-load fluids earlier, and slow down as evening arrives. A simple reminder for many North Americans: swap the habit of a huge late-night water bottle for a satisfying glass of water at lunch and another mid-afternoon. Let thirst be your evening guide, not a quota. Food choices and timing also play unsung roles. Sugar alcohols in sugar-free candies and gum, sorbitol, xylitol, can irritate the bladder in some people. Spicy food close to bedtime may do the same. So can alcohol, especially beer and cocktails, both because of volume and because alcohol itself can increase urine production and fragment sleep. If happy hour is part of your week, try moving it earlier and pairing drinks with a meal that emphasizes protein and vegetables rather than salty bar snacks. Notice how your nights respond when the last drink happens at least 4 hours before bed. Movement helps more than most people expect. If your day involves long stretches of sitting, commuting, desk work, streaming on the couch, micro breaks are your ally. Set a gentle cue every 45-60 minutes to stand, walk a minute, and do 10-15 calf raises. This isn't about burning calories, it's about signaling your leg veins to push fluid upward while the sun is still up. If you enjoy evening walks, make them earlier rather than just before bed. A 15-20 minute stroll after dinner, followed by your leg elevation routine 2 to 3 hours before sleep, is a reliable rhythm. Because education should honor real life, let's translate all of this into a no-drama evening plan you can test this week. 2 anchors during the day, a full glass of water with breakfast and another with lunch. A third, moderate glass mid-afternoon. You've covered most of your hydration. A calmer dinner plate. Think grilled salmon or chicken, a generous serving of roasted vegetables, and a scoop of rice or quinoa. Season with herbs, lemon, and olive oil instead of relying on heavy sauces or extra salt. If takeout is on the menu, portion half for tomorrow's lunch before you sit down. A sugar-free strategy that respects your bladder. If gum or mints are a habit, check labels for sorbitol or xylitol. If you notice more nighttime trips on days you use them, try a week without and observe. A 3-4 hour window before sleep where you do 3 things. Elevate your legs for 15-20 minutes, do 2-3 sets of 20 calf pumps, and shift beverages to small, mindful sips only if you're actually thirsty. Use the bathroom once before bed. A breathing-friendly wind down. Dim lights, keep your room on the cooler side, and use a clean, simple humidifier if your air is very dry. If you routinely snore or wake with a dry mouth or headache, ask your clinician about an evaluation for sleep-disordered breathing. Testing and treatment, when needed, are common and effective. Let's acknowledge common questions. What if I woke up to pee anyway? That's data, not failure. Was dinner saltier than usual? Did an extra drink sneak in late? Did you skip the leg elevation? Adjust and give it a few consistent nights. What if I'm thirsty at night? Take small, measured sips. It's fine to honor thirst, just avoid a large glass. What if I exercise late? Plan a steady cool down and finish any rehydration at least 2 hours before bedtime when possible. There are moments to seek care. If you notice pain, burning, blood in the urine, fever, unusual discharge, swelling that doesn't settle by morning, or a sudden change in urination pattern, especially if you're older, pregnant, or managing chronic conditions, contact a clinician. Education empowers, and professional care ensures safety when red flags appear. You're building a routine that respects how your body manages fluids and sleep. It's not about perfection, it's about patterns. The kind of patterns that bring you back to longer stretches of rest and steadier, brighter mornings. Celebrate small wins. 1 fewer awakening, a clearer head at 10 a.m., less urgency driving home. These are the signs your system is recalibrating. As we continue, we'll add one more layer that many people overlook, an element that ties timing, breathing, and gentle circulation into a simple practice you can do at home with common ingredients. Treat it with the same care you've brought so far, because amounts and preparation matter in health topics. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it will not only limit your results, but could bring serious side effects. I will walk you through it in an informed, safe way so you can apply it confidently. Notice what's changed since you started biasing fluids earlier, easing up on late evening salt, and giving your legs a short elevation break before bed. Even if your nights aren't perfect yet, there's often a small shift, fewer awakenings, slightly calmer sleep, or at least a sense of control. Now let's shine a clear light on the pattern hiding in plain sight, the way daytime habits quietly load your legs with fluid, and how that traveling fluid returns at night to knock on your bladder. Understanding this mechanism removes a lot of mystery and gives you even more leverage to adjust routines without strain or guesswork. Think of your lower legs like a storage shelf your body uses when you sit or stand still for long stretches. Gravity is patient. It encourages blood and lymph to linger in the tissues, especially when your calf muscles aren't contracting much. Add common North American habits, commuting in traffic, hours at a desk, binging a series on the couch, or working a retail shift on your feet, and you've got the perfect setup for slow pooling. That faint sock imprint at 6 p.m. is a polite hint. So are shoes that feel snugger at day's end. None of this is dramatic, which is why it's easy to miss. But when you finally lie down, gravity clocks out and that stored fluid flows back into circulation. Your kidneys read the situation as extra volume and step up filtration. The result isn't a weak bladder, it's simply the wrong time for the right job. Once you see it, practical changes become straightforward. Start with a movement pattern that keeps those venous pumps active without exhausting you. Every 45-60 minutes during the day, stand and do 10-15 slow calf raises. Lift your heels, pause, lower with control. If you're on long calls, pace gently or alternate toe tapping and heel-to-toe rocking under the desk. If you drive long distances, use safe pull-offs to stretch ankles. None of these are workouts, they're circulation nudges. Pair that with a brief afternoon decongestion window. 3 to 4 hours before bed, elevate your legs so your ankles rest above heart level for 15-20 minutes. Then perform 2-3 sets of 20 ankle pumps per side. Point and flex, smooth and steady. People are often surprised by how quickly this reduces that heavy leg feeling. Compression can help too. During the day, not at night, unless your clinician advises it. A light, over-the-counter pair, rated around 15-20 mHg, is usually comfortable for office work or long flights. Think of compression as a daytime assist that keeps fluid from pooling in the first place. Put them on in the morning when swelling is minimal. Remove them in the evening to let your skin breathe and monitor how you feel. If you notice numbness, tingling, or discomfort, choose a lighter pair or pause and ask a professional for guidance. Sodium timing is the partner to movement. A late salty dinner doesn't just make you thirsty, it changes how your body holds on to water. Convenience favorites like pepperoni pizza, chicken wings, ramen, deli sandwiches, and drive-through burritos are tasty and familiar. But their sodium load arriving late in the day can amplify the nighttime shift. Aim to anchor flavor with acid and aroma instead of salt. Lemon juice on roasted vegetables, apple cider vinegar in slaws, a spice rub on chicken or tofu, fresh herbs in abundance. If takeout is part of your evening rhythm, a simple tactic is to plate half and save half for lunch. Add a side salad dressed with olive oil and citrus to balance the meal without extra sodium. Caffeine habits also deserve a soft edit. Decaf isn't zero, it's lower. Large iced teas and cold brews late in the day extend caffeine's tail into bedtime, which can both lighten sleep and increase urine production for some people. Try a swap, a smaller cup earlier than an herbal tea brewed mid-evening rather than at lights out. Chamomile, ginger, or roasted barley teas are common pantry choices. Steep them earlier so your body has time to process the fluids. Because this is health education, safety matters. Please don't swing to extremes. Over-restricting fluids can cause headaches, dry mouth, and dizziness. Radical sodium cuts may not be appropriate if you have specific medical needs. If you take diuretics or manage heart, kidney, or liver conditions, any fluid timing changes should be discussed with your clinician. And if swelling is persistent, one-sided, painful, or accompanied by shortness of breath, seek care promptly. To make progress visible, use a low-effort log for a week. Each evening, jot down roughly when and how much you drank after 5 p.m. The saltiness of dinner on a simple 1-5 scale, whether you wore compression, whether you did the elevation and ankle pumps, and how many times you woke to urinate. You're not chasing perfection. You're mapping cause and effect. Most people spot at least one strong lever within days, like the difference between a salty takeout night and a home-cooked, herb-forward dinner. Those insights make change feel fair and achievable. If you'd like a simple template to follow, try this rhythm Monday through Friday and compare it to your baseline. A full glass of water with breakfast and lunch, a moderate glass mid-afternoon, dinner flavored with herbs and citrus, with half the portion saved for lunch. A 15-20 minute leg elevation, at least 3 hours before bed followed by 40-60 total ankle pumps, and a fluid taper, 90 minutes before lights out with one last unhurried bathroom visit. On weekends, keep the same bones even if mealtimes shift. Consistency beats intensity. Here's a final mindset reframe that helps. Your nighttime bladder trips aren't random. They're a predictable echo of what happened while the sun was up. That means you have agency. Each micro-choice, standing to do those gentle calf raises, choosing lemon and herbs over extra salt, moving your favorite drink to mid-afternoon, puts less fluid on that evening shelf and less pressure on your kidneys after dark. Small, kind adjustments compound into quieter nights and clearer mornings. If you experience pain, burning, fever, blood in the urine, swelling that doesn't settle by morning, or a sudden change in urination, contact a clinician. Education empowers, and professional care keeps you safe. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it will not only limit your results, but could bring serious side effects. I will explain it carefully so you can apply it safely and confidently. You've started to treat your nights as the echo of your days, front-loading fluids, easing evening salt, elevating your legs, and keeping circulation awake with small, frequent movements. There's another piece that most people don't expect, and once you hear it, it makes sense of a dozen scattered observations. How a beer with friends can mean 2 awakenings, why sleeping flat on your back leads to drier mornings and a louder bladder, and why some folks wake with a headache and a parched mouth. The pathway runs through your breathing. When your breathing is noisy, shallow, or frequently interrupted, your body can release signals that increase urine production overnight. The goal here isn't to diagnose anything on your own. It's to create a calmer, friendlier airway so your kidneys don't get mixed messages while you sleep. Let's start with practical observations you can make tonight. If someone has told you that you snore loudly, gasp, or pause in your breathing while asleep, treat that feedback as useful health data. If you often wake with a dry mouth, a sore throat, or a dull morning headache, that also counts. Mouth breathing tends to dry the throat and increase awakenings. Snoring and frequent arousals nudge your body to shift hormones and saltwater balance in a way that can ramp up nighttime urine production. It's not a moral failing, and it's not solved by sheer willpower. It's an airflow issue you can improve with a few supportive habits while you ask your clinician whether a formal evaluation would help. Create an evening environment that defaults to nasal breathing. Keep your bedroom comfortably cool and slightly humid. Dry, heated air can irritate nasal passages and push you toward mouth breathing. If your climate is dry, a clean humidifier set to a moderate level can make a noticeable difference. Do a gentle nasal rinse with sterile or distilled water if you're congested from allergies. Pat dry and apply a thin layer of plain saline gel to the front of the nostrils to reduce irritation. 30 minutes before bed, dim screens and give your eyes a break. Forward head posture and late-night scrolling aren't friends to open airways. If you routinely react to pet dander or pollen, wash pillowcases frequently, and keep pets off the bed to reduce overnight congestion. Body position matters more than most people think. Try sleeping on your side rather than flat on your back. Side lying tends to keep the tongue from falling backward and narrows fewer airway passages. A supportive pillow that keeps your neck in neutral alignment can help. If reflux or heartburn bothers you, allow at least 2 to 3 hours between dinner and lying down, and place a thin wedge under the mattress to elevate the head of the bed slightly. Calmer reflux means calmer airways. Evening choices ripple into nighttime breathing. Alcohol relaxes throat muscles and can convert a quiet sleeper into a snorer for the night. Beer has both alcohol and volume, a double nudge toward awakenings. If you enjoy a drink, keep it earlier, ideally 4 hours before sleep. and pair it with food rather than salty snacks alone. Consider alternating with water in the afternoon so you're not playing catch-up at night. Caffeine late in the day, including large iced teas or energy drinks, can fragment sleep for hours and prompt more bathroom trips. Move them earlier and experiment with herbal options in the evening. Breathing-friendly wind-downs are simple and restore a feeling of control. 10 minutes before bed, sit upright and practice quiet nasal breathing. Inhale through the nose for a slow count of 4. Exhale through the nose for a gentle count of 6. Keep shoulders relaxed and jaw loose. If one nostril feels persistently blocked, a brief, warm shower may help mobilize mucus. Avoid pungent decongestants that keep you awake, and avoid menthol products right before bed if they make your nose feel dry later. If allergies are a significant factor, discuss long-acting, non-sedating options with a clinician so you can support breathing without compromising sleep quality. Because this is health education, we'll talk about when to seek help. Loud, habitual snoring, witnessed pauses in breathing, gasping, morning headaches, persistent daytime sleepiness, or high blood pressure that's hard to control are signals worth sharing with your healthcare team. Modern testing for sleep-disordered breathing is common and often done at home. Treatments range from targeted weight management and positional strategies to devices that keep the airway gently open. When indicated and used consistently, these tools reduce nighttime urine production for many people by removing the stress signals that were nudging the kidneys. Let's put this together into a calm, workable routine that dovetails with what you're already doing. In the late afternoon, finish most of your hydration and keep the evening meal lighter on sodium. Set an 8-minute timer after dinner for an easy walk, then elevate your legs for 15-20 minutes at least 3 hours before bedtime and do 40-60 gentle ankle pumps. 2 hours before bed, power down heavy screens, tidy the room, and prepare the space for nasal breathing, clean pillowcase, cool temperature, moderate humidity. 30 minutes before lights out, perform a brief nasal rinse if congested, then a few sets of soft side-lying breaths. When you lie down, settle on your side with a supportive pillow. If you wake in the night, avoid turning on bright lights. Sit up briefly. Breathe quietly through your nose and allow your body to return to sleep without large gulps of water unless you truly feel thirsty. Use the bathroom calmly and return to bed without checking the clock. A few common questions deserve answers. What if I'm awake and my nose feels blocked? Try a sip of water, a positional change to your other side, and 2 minutes of quiet nasal breaths. If needed, a short session in a steamy bathroom can help. What if I still snore on my side? That's useful information. Share it with your clinician. You may benefit from further evaluation. What if I wear a retainer or mouth guard? Keep it clean. An ill-fitting appliance can encourage mouth breathing, so mention it during checkups. Safety first. Don't tape your mouth shut. Don't self-medicate with sedatives or alcohol to stay asleep. And don't ignore red flag symptoms like chest pain, severe shortness of breath, or blood in the urine. Seek care. Education is a powerful tool, and pairing it with professional guidance when needed keeps you safe and makes progress smoother. As your breathing becomes quieter and your evening fluids and sodium align with your body's clock, your kidneys receive a consistent message. Do the bulk of filtration when you're awake. Let nighttime be for repair. The reward is felt in small wins that add up: a single, uninterrupted stretch of sleep, less urgency after midnight, a clearer head on your morning commute. Keep noticing, keep adjusting, and keep the tone kind. Bodies respond best to steady, respectful routines. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it will not only limit your results, but could bring serious side effects. I will explain it carefully so you can apply it safely and confidently. You've done something powerful already. You shifted more of your fluids earlier, eased evening salt, moved your legs out of the storage shelf zone, and encouraged quieter breathing. Now we tighten the focus on 2 underappreciated levers: flavor and timing. They look innocent on the plate or in the cup, but their clockwork matters. If you've ever thought, it's just decaf, or it's only sugar-free, tonight is where those assumptions meet gentle, practical edits that give you back calmer sleep. Start with the idea of bladder friendliness. Some foods and drinks are perfectly fine for many people. For others, they increase urgency, frequency, or nighttime awakenings. You don't have to memorize a forbidden list. You only need to notice patterns and make smart swaps. Common North American habits offer a few clues. Large iced teas, even when labeled decaf, still carry some caffeine, and caffeine can increase urine production for some. Chocolate, especially darker varieties, contains small amounts too. Alcohol deserves a special mention. Beer combines volume and alcohol, which relaxes throat muscles and may worsen snoring, while also nudging more urine production. Cocktails can be double triggers if they're mixed with carbonated beverages or citrus concentrates late at night. Now the stealth players, sugar alcohols like sorbitol, xylitol, and erythritol. They sweeten gum, mints, sugar-free candies, protein bars, and even some sauces. For a subset of people, these ingredients can irritate the bladder or draw extra water into the gut, creating bloating that indirectly disturbs sleep. You don't have to avoid them forever. Try a 1-week experiment. Read labels after lunch, and if a product lists these sweeteners, move it earlier in the day or skip it for the week. Pay attention to your nights. Sodium timing can be the quiet hero of your evening. What matters isn't only how much sodium you ingest in a day, it's when the bulk of it arrives. Late, salty dinners pull water into the bloodstream and often spike thirst. The chain reaction is predictable. You drink more close to bedtime, circulation increases, and your kidneys do their daytime job at night. Scan the usual suspects: pepperoni pizza, chicken wings with extra sauce, deli turkey piled high on a sub-roll, packaged ramen, canned soups, frozen entrees with thick gravies, barbecue rubs heavy on salt, and snack foods like pretzels or jerky. These are familiar, convenient, and easy to love, which is exactly why timing and portions are the tools, not shame. Here's a practical, no-drama framework you can put to work tonight. First, establish a hydration window. Aim to drink most of your water between breakfast and late afternoon. As evening approaches, taper. In the last 90 minutes before bed, sip only if you're truly thirsty rather than out of habit or because an app tells you to finish a quota. Use a normal-sized glass, not a jumbo refill mug. If you enjoy herbal tea for comfort, brew it earlier in the evening and keep the portion modest. Second, shape dinner, so flavor stays big while sodium stays moderate. Build a plate from simple North American staples done lighter: grilled salmon or chicken, roasted vegetables brushed with olive oil, garlic, and lemon, a scoop of rice, or a baked potato topped with a spoon of plain Greek yogurt and chives instead of sour cream and bacon bits. Taco night? Use seasoned beans, sautéed peppers and onions, a squeeze of lime, and fresh cilantro. Salt the protein during cooking, but skip additional salty rubs at the table. Love burgers? Make a turkey or veggie patty, add lettuce, tomato, onion, mustard, and pickles sparingly, and pair with a side salad instead of fries. If takeout is real life tonight, portion half for lunch tomorrow before you sit down, and add a simple green salad with vinaigrette to dilute the overall sodium load. Third, be a calm label detective. You don't need to count every milligram, but a quick scan helps. Aim for dinner entrees that land roughly in the 400–700 milligram sodium range when possible. Canned beans? Rinse them. It removes a meaningful amount of sodium. Sauces and dressings carry hidden salt. Measure a tablespoon instead of free pouring. With practice, flavor shifts from salt-centric to herb-forward. Citrus, vinegar, smoked paprika, cumin, coriander, thyme, rosemary, fresh garlic, and black pepper build layers that make less salt feel like more taste, not less. Fourth, revisit coffee and tea with timing in mind. If cold brew or energy drinks sneak into your afternoon, try a hard cutoff. Move that pick-me-up to late morning and switch to water or unsweetened herbal options after lunch. If chocolate is your evening treat, favor a small square earlier in the night and observe how you sleep when you stop at one. Fifth, protect the last hours before bed with routines that move fluid out of your legs before you lie flat. About 3 to 4 hours before sleep, elevate your legs for 15–20 minutes, then perform 40–60 gentle ankle pumps. This simple window helps your kidneys handle extra volume while you're awake. Keep this separate from the moment you get into bed, Elevating right at lights out can backfire by triggering a bathroom trip just as you're trying to drift off. Because this is health education, let's talk safety. Extreme restrictions backfire. Don't force yourself to be thirsty. Don't cut salt to extremes if you have medical conditions where sodium balance is carefully managed. Check with your clinician. If you use diuretics or have heart, kidney, or liver conditions, fluid timing changes should be coordinated with your healthcare team. If you experience pain, burning, fever, blood in the urine, persistent swelling, shortness of breath, or a sudden change in urination pattern, seek medical evaluation. Education is a companion to, not a replacement for, care. To make progress visible, keep a simple scorecard for a week. Jot down what you drank after 5 p.m. and how much. The approximate sodium level of dinner, whether you had sugar-free candies or gum, whether you elevated your legs and did ankle pumps, how many nighttime awakenings you had, and how you felt the next morning. You're not grading yourself. You're looking for patterns. It's common to see a clear link between a lower sodium dinner, an earlier hydration window, and one fewer trip after midnight. There's a quiet confidence that grows when your evenings feel intentional instead of accidental. You'll notice yourself choosing lemon and herbs before reaching for the shaker, stopping at one small chocolate square earlier in the evening and pouring the satisfying glass of water at lunch rather than at bedtime. That confidence is earned by observation and small, steady changes, not by perfection. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it will not only limit your results, but could bring serious side effects. I will explain it carefully so you can apply it safely and confidently. You've gathered the essential levers and practiced them with care. Front-loading fluids, easing evening sodium, helping your legs return extra fluid before bed, and making your airway friendlier to quiet breathing. It's time to assemble these pieces into one calm, repeatable plan that you can live with. The goal is simple. Help your kidneys finish most of their heavy lifting while you're awake, so the night is reserved for restoration, not bathroom trips. The plan includes a precise evening preparation and a gentle bonus beverage timed to work with, not against, your body's clock. Begin with the daily rhythm. Right after you wake, drink a normal glass of water with breakfast. Repeat at lunch. Add a moderate glass in mid-afternoon. This covers a large share of your hydration while your body is primed to process it. From late afternoon onward, shift from catch-up mode to maintenance mode. That means smaller, thoughtful sips only if you're truly thirsty. Keep a regular glass nearby rather than a jumbo bottle. The smaller cue helps you stop at enough, not too much. Anchor dinner around flavor that isn't salt-dependent. Think roasted chicken or tofu with lemon and herbs, a generous pile of vegetables, and a side of rice, quinoa, or a baked potato with a spoon of plain Greek yogurt and chives. If you're enjoying familiar North American staples, keep portions balanced and sauces measured. If takeout fits your life, portion half for tomorrow's lunch before you sit down, then add a simple salad to dilute the sodium footprint. Finish dinner at least 3 hours before bed when possible. Digestion and breathing, thank you for the head start. Now the evening preparation, the part most people skip and later call the missing switch. 3 to 4 hours before you intend to sleep, lie down and elevate your legs so your ankles rest above heart level for 15, 20 minutes. Breathe quietly through your nose. When you're done, perform 40-60 smooth ankle pumps. Point and flex, steady and unhurried. This sequence invites the pooled fluid in your legs to rejoin circulation early so your kidneys can process it while you're still up. If you wear daytime compression socks, remove them afterward to let your skin breathe. Avoid tight bands at night unless your clinician recommends otherwise. 2 hours before bed, dim lights and reduce screen exposure. Keep your room comfortably cool and slightly humid if the air is dry. Wash or switch your pillowcase and favor sleeping on your side. Both strategies reduce the chances of mouth breathing and snoring, which can send more urine signals to your body. If you're congested, a gentle nasal rinse with sterile or distilled water may help. Keep alcohol, large late beverages, and heavy desserts out of this window. Those choices turn your kidneys back on just as you're trying to wind down. Here is the promised bonus preparation. A small, precise drink that acts more like a ritual than a chugged beverage. It's enjoyable, simple, and designed to be consumed far enough from bedtime to avoid pushing you awake later. Combine 1/2 cup, 120 milliliters, of tart cherry juice with 1/2 cup, 120 milliliters, of water and 1 tablespoon of fresh lime or lemon juice. Stir and drink it 4 hours before bedtime, 2 to 3 evenings per week. Tart cherry brings a gentle, naturally tart flavor. Diluting it halves the sugar load, and the citrus brightens the taste without extra sodium. The timing is the key. 4 hours gives your body a comfortable window to process the liquid while you're still active. If you monitor blood sugar or follow a specific nutrition plan, measure your portion and consider a smaller serving. If you're avoiding added sugars entirely, skip the juice and keep your routine intact. You do not need the bonus to succeed. If a warm, aromatic ritual suits you better, here is a careful alternative you can swap on different days. 2 to 3 hours before bed, steep 1 chamomile tea bag, or about 1 teaspoon of dried flowers, in 200-250 milliliters of hot water for 5 to 7 minutes. For a cozy twist, add a thin strip of apple peel and a pinch of cinnamon for aroma only. Avoid large additions of honey or sweeteners at night. Drink it warm, not scorching, and not in the last hour before bed. If you have allergies to plants in the chamomile family, choose a different herbal option. This isn't a cure. It's a comfort that fits within the timing that respects your sleep. Let's make the plan testable. For 7 days, follow this checklist. Morning, 1 glass of water with breakfast. Midday, 1 glass at lunch. Afternoon, 1 moderate glass by mid-afternoon. Evening meal, finish at least 3 hours before bed. Use herbs, citrus, and olive oil instead of leaning on salt. Measure sauces and dressings. Moving window, elevate legs 15-20 minutes, 3 to 4 hours before bed. Perform 40-60 ankle pumps. Bonus beverage, choose either the tart cherry lime drink 4 hours before bed 2 or 3 times this week, or the early evening herbal infusion on alternate days, but not both on the same night. Wind down, side sleep setup, cool room, moderate humidity, quiet nasal breathing for 5 minutes in bed. Last 90 minutes, no large beverages. Sip only if truly thirsty. 1 calm bathroom trip before lights out. Keep a simple log. Note what you ate and when, whether you had the bonus beverage and at what time, whether you elevated your legs and completed ankle pumps, and how many times you woke to urinate. Also record how you felt the next morning, clear-headed, steady energy, or heavy and groggy. The goal isn't to chase perfect nights. It's to identify the moves that consistently buy you longer sleep stretches. If a particular food or timing reliably sends you to the bathroom, you've discovered a lever you can adjust. Because safety is part of trustworthy education, a few guardrails matter. Avoid over-restricting fluids. Thirst, dry mouth, or dizziness are signs you've cut too far. Don't sharply restrict sodium if you have medical instructions that differ. Check with your clinician. If you experience pain, burning, fever, blood in the urine, swelling that doesn't improve by morning, severe snoring with gasping, or a sudden change in urination, seek medical evaluation. Never change prescribed medications without guidance. These guardrails keep experimentation safe and progress sustainable. There's a deeper payoff here that goes beyond fewer nighttime trips. When you align hydration timing, leg circulation, airway comfort, and sodium awareness, you rewrite a daily cycle that many people simply endure. You'll feel it in subtle ways: a steadier mood in the afternoon, a quieter mind at bedtime, brighter commutes, and a kinder relationship with your routine. That confidence builds because you are teaching your body what to expect, and it learns. If this journey has brought you practical relief, spread the benefit. Share your experience with someone who is living the same pattern. Save these steps where you can find them on a busy night. If you want more guidance like this, staying connected helps. When people like, share, and subscribe, it signals that education presented calmly and clearly has value. Your small action may be the nudge that gives a friend their first uninterrupted stretch of sleep in months.